Good afternoon, YouTube. So camping off the, whoa, that one caught me by surprise. So camping off the back of this motorcycle has been a fun experience. I've gotten really efficient at packing for the motorcycle. I did it on my Royal Enfield, and I'll go ahead and link to a video where I've done that. And you know, that was a bit more challenging still because the limited capabilities of the Royal Enfield. But with this bike, you know, I didn't want to lose its riding characteristics by making it laden. And to tell you the truth, I think the little bit of weight I added to it has actually helped the handling some. For example, this heavy wind isn't pushing me around. At least not as much as if everything were empty on the back of the bike. My helmet's still getting turned, but that's because the wind's pushing against my GoPro, I'm sure, but it's hooking right behind the GoPro on my chin there. But camping has been quite the experience. So my first night camping, I stayed at Fool's Hollow Lake, and I'll go ahead and share some of those pictures with you and you know, talk about that experience. And I know that as I pulled into Fool's Hollow, I sort of documented everything, but I'm going to go ahead and talk about what happened the night I was there. And I mean, I got there early in the afternoon, and I was just going to scope the place out, but they went ahead and checked me in, so I was like, okay. It's run by the state of Arizona, and they have security, and they have police officers who ride around on quads and sort of patrol everything. So, you know, it felt pretty nice for a campground. It did not feel, you know, sometimes these places can be kind of creepy. So needless to say, when I was setting up my tent, one of the officers came around because you know, they saw that I came in on a motorcycle, and he is a motorcycle enthusiast, and he started talking. So I told him, I said, yeah, I was just bummed out because I didn't have any firewood for the fire pit. I wanted to go pick up a couple things, but my bike was already topped. And he says, well, if you set up your camp here, he says, I'll just watch traffic from across the road over here, and you know, I'll make sure your tent don't disappear while you're gone. I was like, no way. So he did. He was as good as his word. My tent was still there when I came back. So that was pretty awesome. I was able to run out into town and went to a restaurant called Jalapenos. Look here, I just learned from the Petrified Forest deal that the white in these hills right here indicates an era where there was volcanic activity. So that was ash that was deposited. I'm sorry. So anyway, squirrel. So anyway, when I got there, I went ahead and set up my tent and set up my sleeping arrangement, my sleeping pad and my sleeping bag. I didn't leave any electronics or anything like that there. I kept them in the carry-out and tail bag. And went ahead and rolled out, went to a cool place called Jalapenos in Xolo. And let me tell you something, man, for a local owned place, boy, if they ever got nationalized, they'd kick the pants out of Chipotle. I'm telling you right now. They make the same style, you know, you get to choose your beans and your rice, rolling into this humongous burrito, the size of a football. And it was fantastic. Talked to some of the locals there. That was where I relayed one of my experiences with people looking at this bike while I'm up here. It seems everybody up here is used to seeing certain things, certain ways. But I digress. I went back to the campground and I saw a couple of other motorcycle riders show up. And one of them was riding a Yamaha Royal Star, I think. I don't know. It was a beast. It was like a 1700cc motor, something close to that. And he was towing a trailer behind it, and that's what they had all their camping stuff in. And then the other motorcycle was a Kawasaki Vulcan 1500, I think. And he was riding pillion with a lady on the back, and they pulled up a couple of camps away, so they saw me when I came in, because I ran back out and got some firewood and strapped that down to the back of my bike and brought it in. And walked over and talked to them for a little bit, because they were only one camp away, and shared a cigar with them. Well, I should say I gave them a cigar. We didn't like pass around a cigar. So then I went back to my camp and I proceeded to set things up for later. I set up my stove so I could boil some water and have some tea. I really wanted to drink some warm tea and sit back and relax with a cigar after a big meal, and light the campfire and take some ibuprofen and just kind of chill until the sleep fell on me. And right about then, this diesel truck pulls into the slip next to where I'm at and backs in a little camper trailer, and it's these two ladies with two little girls, I don't know, about pre-teenage, I guess, and three of the yappiest, scared to death dogs on the face of the planet, just barking and yipping the whole time. I mean, if they lost sight of someone in their group, the dogs would start yipping as though they were being attacked and like they were fighting back. I mean, that's what it sounded like. And so all I can guess was, you know, the dogs were neurotic. Oh, not a good seam on that bridge there. All I can guess is that the dogs were neurotic, and so were the kids. They're screaming, clanging, banging, dogs barking the whole time. It was anything but peaceful for a while. Because of the size of their camp, with the trailer and the truck and everything, they ended up with 2 total campsites. So once I lit up my cigar, it's funny because they had a fire going and they were using, I don't know, some dirty wood or green wood, because it was smoking like crazy. And you couldn't hear anything from them, but as soon as I lit a cigar and they could smell it, oh, they started coughing. Yeah, it's not the smoke from your camp though, right? Oh, that was one of the best moments. But you know, it had a good side effect, because they ended up moving to the other side of the 2 campgrounds that they had. And what that meant was they took the dang dogs with them. And don't get me wrong, I'm a dog lover. I had to put my dog of 14 and a half years down a couple of years ago, and it still breaks my heart. So I am a dog lover. It's not that I'm not, but you know, you come to a peaceful retreat like that and just have your dogs yipping and barking, and like, they didn't seem to show any indication that they were concerned about it. That was the big thing. I mean, it seemed apparent to me, as loud as they were being, that they were being inconsiderate of everyone there. I know if my kids and my family were making that much noise at a campground, at the very least I'd have been shushing them, may have even apologized out loud to whoever was within earshot. It was just incredible. They seemed to have complete disregard for other campers, and not just myself, but I mean, I was the closest to them, but it was it was pretty ridiculous, I have to say. So they moved to the other side of the camp, of their camp, and so I guess once the dogs were close enough to them and could see them instead of this temporary like baby pen that they'd set up for the dogs wouldn't yip and yap anymore. So that was great. So the dogs finally shut up, and I finally had my nice, quiet, peaceful night. But that was just kind of crazy. So packing light on this motorcycle means that I don't get to carry certain things. I mean, I just didn't. I realize now that I could have, because it wouldn't have been that much more. But I didn't carry like a fold-away chair or anything like that, so I am subject to whatever seating accommodations are at the campsite. And at this particular campsite, they had one of those plastic and metal picnic tables, and then, you know, some conveniently placed rocks. So I lit my fire and dragged the picnic table over close to the fire, and I balled up the liner from this jacket, which is also you can wear as a jacket outside of this jacket, like a windbreaker. And I balled that up, put it on one end, and just kind of laid down along one of the benches of the picnic table. And I was staring up in the sky as the sun was getting ready to set, and it was finally getting quiet. Fire crackling to the left, and I'm sitting there smoking a big old cigar, blowing the smoke up in the air, looking straight up into the sky. And then what happens? A big old bird flies over. So I take note, and he comes back again. When I see it again, it was a golden eagle, which aren't that rare around here. It's not like it was a bald eagle or anything, but man, that was just cool. That's all. I kept thinking to myself, well, if I'd been wearing my helmet and had the camera rolling. Oh, now see, you can tell some folks that have fun over here. You see these little 2-tracks are too small to have been a truck, so you know they were ATVs. Someone got out there with a scoop, laid it all down. So at any rate, I ended up going to bed, climbing in my tent after I ran out of firewood, and I preloaded a couple of MotoVlogs onto my Kindle, and I played those and kind of fell asleep while watching them. And all in all, had a really, really good day there. Like I said, except for the weird neighbors that showed up. I don't know. But cigars rule, because it pushed them to the other side of their camp. So, anyhow, I will connect back with you folks when I get towards Pinetop, and we'll go ahead and document the arrival to the cozy cabins. Grumpy Jake's looks promising. So this place is kind of particular. You have to, it's called a cozy cabin. I'll have to look it up better and have all the information for you by the time I post this video. But the cabin I'm renting is Cozy Cabin is what it's called, but I get the idea. It's just some family property that they built a handful of cabins on to trap tourists. But I'm okay with that. You know, for a decent hotel, I'm going to be getting my own little cabin. So from what I can tell, that's worth it. We'll be crossing part of Rainbow Lake here. This is where the cabin is. This is on Rainbow Lake. Check out these homes. You just don't see them made like that in Arizona. Well, I guess you do. There's Rainbow Lake. Well, part of it anyway. One little bay, it looks like. There's a bridge that runs across. I have to go out and exploring when the feeling sensation comes back to my backside. And a dirt road. Happy, happy, joy, joy. Wish I had dirt knobblies. I'm feeling the back end slip around there. It's like someone came and sprayed it down today too. I wonder if they do that to keep the dust down. think this is it. Alright then, this is it. Here's my cabin, folks. Alright. I'm going to go in and check it out. Okay. You said to just let yourself in. So I'm letting myself in. And this is my cozy cabin. Again, about the same price as a decent hotel room for the night, so not bad. This is the living room. I don't know, looks like they got cable and DVD player. Full kitchen. Not bad. And this is what's behind my cabin. Lake Cemetery. I hear they're just dying to get in there.